Well, Mace, we survived, mate. Black Friday last week.
Oh,
thanks to you.
Mate, man flu is real.
Fuck.
I honestly thought I was going to die last Friday.
Mate, I was that close to jumping off my balcony head first. I mean, I thought, you know what? Influenza A, whatever. Everyone I know has been sick. Mum was in hospital for 5 days with it. Both my niece and nephew have been really crook for like a month. Mate, I was like, Ren, toughen the fuck up here. Like, look, it's not that bad. It's fucking horrendous.
I was sobbing on the couch. It was bad.
The amount of head noise, body aches, sore throat, coughing, headache.
I've still got the cough at the moment.
So do I, and it just didn't go away. So you pretty much ruined my weekend. Well, you've kind of saved me from going out as well.
I would have saved you a fortune.
Oh, yeah, true.
So just thank me.
But I'm feeling more and more dangerous as the days go on.
You do know how to...
Because I haven't even had like a midweek, couple of beers here and there. Like it's just nothing. And I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to roll. But I just feel like shit. Yeah. But, you know, we're here. We're back into another episode.
At least we had your dogs. They were impressive.
Yeah, very good.
We'll get to them.
That was the only fucking thing that made me feel good for like 80 minutes. And then I went back to feeling like shit. So, mate, I'll start with my freak of the week. Yeah. And I've got two, and I'm just too biased. There's too many good players in this side, but Connor Tracy, outstanding, like unbelievable. Jacob Carraz, unbelievable. Everyone was good, but I really love what Josh Curran and Kurt Mann are doing for that team through the middle. Not big guys, but just play well above their weight, get through their work, don't get dominated. They play aggressive. Kurt Mann's attacking skill at 13 as well. Very Isaiah Yeo-like, Cam Murray. He's playing that third half through the middle of the field, but I love what they're doing defensively. Yeah. I think they've been great, man. So,
Kurt Mann's got that tough C about him, doesn't he?
He's not a big guy at all, too.
No.
He's played a number of positions, but he just plays above his weight. He put a shot on, I can't remember now. My head's been spinning for the last week, but he was putting shots on as well, getting right into the rib cage. He put it on Cobbo. And Cobbo's a huge winger. Like, he's a big boy. And you could see everyone getting up ginger. I could see a lot of the Brisbane boys getting up ginger.
Yeah.
Just purely through the just the want that Dogs team had. And they've shown that statistically as well, that they're the second best defensive side in the comp, but they're showing a lot of aggression as well and playing defensively within the rules aggressively as well, which is nice to see.
Controlled aggression.
Everything they do is, mate, it's been outstanding. It's a really good team to watch. They're a really fun side to watch at the moment. And they're my two freak of the weeks. Mate, I could have given it to so many. I could have given it to Skelton, who ran 300 metres. Like, everyone was really strong, but I'm going to stick with my forwards. Jacob Preston, is another one I've forgotten about. But just the two that stood out for me from the start of the game, that set the platform, that set the tone early. Yeah. I'll go with Josh Curran and Kurt Mann. Who were your freaks of the week, mate?
My freak of the week was Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, no surprise there.
3 tries, 2 try assists, just an overall, just had a blinder. We go back, I think it was the week before, people were saying didn't have the best game. We all said didn't have his best game, but coming off a long break. Yep. And Turbo was very much the same. When he came back, he had that scratchy kind of, obviously getting your rhythm, and you can probably touch on it, what it's like when you do have long breaks, come back, and how long it takes you to find your rhythm. And he just comes out and goes bang.
Yeah. He's he stamped his authority to prove that he's the premier half in this competition.
Yeah.
And you quickly kind of forget about what Mitch Moses did in Origin when Cleary kicks it. No, to be fair, respectfully, he comes out and ices a field goal and then plays that game on the weekend against a Dragons team that's improved.
Yeah.
That's no easy feat to go down to Wollongong and put on 3 tries, score 3, 2 try assists, did you say?
Yeah, 2 try assists, line break assists.
I just can't go past that Penrith team to be to win 4 in a row.
It's just starting to look like their comp to lose.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yep, definitely.
I want to ask you a question on Cleary though, and I have this debate with a friend of mine all the time. Yep. And he does performances like this, and you go fuck. But people are going, is he a future Immortal. Is he doing the things? He's obviously doing things, but for me, like, he hasn't stamped himself on Origin.
Yeah, so this is the way I say it with, after Cleary puts in a performance like that, it puts the field goal over the week before, you quickly jump on the Immortal talk.
Yeah.
Think, fuck, he's the best. And then you sit down a couple of days later, you have time to reflect, and you think about what Cooper Cronk's done, you think about what Jonathan's done, you think about what Andrew Johns has done. Yeah. Obviously, he's already an Immortal. So you could try to get a gauge off what those players have done. And you got to think about Thursto and Cronk winning 8 series in a row.
Yeah.
Then you go Thursto's 2 competitions that he won. He iced the field goal on the second one. He was playing in the first one with us in 2004. Cooper Cronk's won 5 comps across 2 different teams, but across a longer period.
Yeah.
So you look at those credentials, you're going, oh, wow, hang on, just ease up a little bit. He's got a little bit of work to do. For me, because he's gone back to back to back, he's potentially going to go 4 in a row, like that's at club level, you could go 4 in a row. That's Immortal. That's a little tick in the box, right? Origin, he needs to ice an Origin series at half, starting half. So if he goes 4 in a row, he wins a series next year and then wins a World Cup in 2026 at 7. I think he's ticked all the boxes. And then anything on top of that outside of for the rest of his career
is just a bonus.
It's just a bonus. But he's that trajectory of being an Immortal. He's nearing the top.
Do you know what I'd love to see from him as well? And probably won't ever happen. Every Penrith supporter would want to stab me, but I'd love to see him go to a different club and see if he can stamp the authority and grow, like build another club.
Yeah.
Because he sits in that system, and we see when he's out, they still perform. Because the system is so good. I'd love to see him go to a Dolphins or somewhere different.
Yeah.
And see if he can have
that kind of influence.
Yeah.
Fair point. He's such a gifted player. Like his IQ for the game. He's not just a fluke of that, and not just so much a fluke, but like he's just not like nothing happens unless like a lot happens because of Cleary in the Penrith side. Yeah, where they have gone on to win without him, but so much more happens with him when he's in the team. You know, so his actual IQ for the game, his knowledge, his understanding, it's just getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Like when you say he hasn't iced an Origin, it would probably be fair to say that he hadn't really iced a grand final either until the third one. But that was he didn't ice that. He dominated it for 18 minutes.
He said, "Get on my back.
Get on my back." To come back from whatever they were down by 20 or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
That's like, hey, fuck, that's Immortal behavior. That's Immortal.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's an Immortal player right there.
Just that 20 minutes.
Just 20 minutes, like, to brilliance. Go and to be down in the biggest game of the year and under that kind of pressure. So I like where he's tracking to be an Immortal, and obviously there's players like this, Jono, that he'll be an Immortal. There'll be Cam Smith, Cooper Cronk will be in a conversation, and I think after these guys become Immortals, like Nathan will be one.
Yeah. For
sure. He's on that trajectory, and he's almost done enough within our game. Like I said, he nails the Origin series and he gets the World Cup in 26. He's ticked every box.
And it's crazy to think how much footy he's got ahead of him. Like most halves.
It's only like 25, yeah?
Yeah. Most halves haven't even found themselves yet.
No.
Like they haven't even got close to the best of their career. And he's 5 or 6 years away from where most halves peak. It's pretty scary.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
All right, let's move back to your Dogs, because I know it's a subject you like talking about. And you know what? As you said, they're a team that anyone, like I'm an East supporter, I love watching the Dogs at the moment.
I feel like I'm not being biased. I feel like everyone around Sydney is really enjoying the Bulldogs ride at the moment.
Yeah.
I think everyone's sort of like, hey, what about the Dogs? Because technically they're a team of misfits, right? A lot of them are utilities.
That was that was the running joke.
Well, it is. They were. Like a lot of them come from, as utilities. That's just, salmon, man, Josh Curran came on. He came off the bench at the Warriors. He was starting, then came off the bench. You know, like Sherry's come from a 4-year ban.
Yeah.
You know, Kicks has obviously come from Penrith. And Birdo, Tracy, like he was playing a number of positions, different clubs.
Yeah.
So they are a team full of misfits. And they've just the way they've been able to put it together, you know, and I really take satisfaction in watching their defence.
Yeah.
I appreciate good attack, but I like great defence. And it was like watching a Beethoven symphony. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It was just fucking beautiful to watch. You know, the violins are going off there. You got the flutes, you got the fucking trombones, percussion, you know. I'm just up, fucking Shoutout's up the front just doing these ones. It was fucking beautiful, mate. Just the way they just tie in, they turn up for each other, their kick chase, their line speed, their marker. Do you
know what I love?
Beethoven.
You know what I love this week? Because a lot of their wins have been so gritty and getting it done in the last minute.
Yeah.
This was like, no, fuck it. We're going to show you we can attack and we're going to blow a team off the park.
Yeah, so they've been doing that kind of attack in some parts of the game. And what you got to take into account as well is that they played in Brisbane on a Saturday afternoon where it was dry. So that's the luxury that you have of having dry footy that you can shift. Now, it was very brave and it's audacious to play that kind of footy, especially coming out of transition, right? Because field position is so important in our game that you've got to have the guts to be able to pull the trigger, pass, get to your edge.
Yeah.
And they'll make him meters. Both centres, Katoni and Mariner, lucky they're very fast because they could turn around and fix the problem that they'd already almost created by being too tight. Like, I thought they would have adjusted after maybe the third time they got pulled apart, but they just stuck to their system, stayed too tight, pulled the trigger to the edges. And that's a beautiful thing about shifting the ball in transition is that no one expects it. Most defensive lines are very passive and they will back off. It's not like try line D where they'll come shut you down. Our strengths are on our edges.
Definitely.
So we need to get the ball to our edges. And doing it downfield, like I said, it's a lot easier to get the balls to kick out to Sherry, to Crichton, to Wilson, to Skelton.
Yeah.
In transition, down further in the field, because like I said, the defense is a little bit more passive. Whereas when we're on our try line D, another thing that I love before I go on to that is that Sexton isn't like a natural running threat. So I don't feel like we're making enough inroads or creating enough deception or confusion from 9 to 7 or 6. Feel like we're going pass, get to an edge.
Yeah.
Defensive lines are just shifting. They know where the threat is. So if they're in their try line D, they know where the threat is. They're going out, they're shutting it down. The beautiful thing that Sexton did is put that little kick through.
Yeah.
Recognise that Walsh was at a defender on the other side, no fullback. Players feel like he might not be a running threat, just threads it through for Tracy. And then all of a sudden the defence is in two minds again. He did another kick.
Gets him thinking.
He did another kick in the second half where he put it through in the third or fourth and got a repeat set.
Yeah.
He just added that little bow to his game, just that little extra bit of extra deception that a defensive line's got to think about now. Because, like I said, he's not really that big running threat.
No.
Where he's going to come off, he's going to beat you with the fend. You know, he's getting really deep into the line, playing square. He put Jacob Preston through that time.
Yeah. It's a real coming of age game for him, I thought.
It was his best, the best game he's had for the club for sure. But he just added that little extra bit of spice to his game that he needed because it was kind of becoming a little bit too predictable.
Yeah.
Overall, though, what I will say is that, and I know the boys will be calm, and I know Ciro would have sort of driven it home. This team's lost about 7 or 8 out of their last 9 or
Brisbane,
all right?
They're not coming off good form.
They're not coming off good form. They've got outstanding players in their team, but you come up against a side that's been struggling.
Yeah.
And you put 40 on them, take the win. Yep, we fucking went up there. We showed them how to get it done. But then, fuck, all right, we've got another 6 big games here. We want to finish top 4 now. Now it's not like we want to finish 8. Nah, we want to finish top 4 now. That's the reality of it.
And they're a genuine chance of
They should be like sitting second, honestly. They should have beat Cowboys.
Yeah.
They should have beat Melbourne earlier in the year. Should have beat Canberra maybe. Yeah, Canberra in the last couple of minutes. There's 6 points there that they've left behind in the competition right there.
They could easily, they
could easily be sitting in second, behind Melbourne. So big 6 weeks now.
The way that they attacked there was almost like, could they trouble Penrith?
Well, they troubled Penrith that time too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. But then that was got to be their best attacking game. And that, like as you said, adding strings to your bows. One thing with Penrith, you can't out Penrith.
No, go on.
No, and you need that deception. You need to chance your arm. You need to move the ball out of your own half. You need to do those things.
So that's what they did against Penrith.
Yeah.
They had like 2 or 3 line breaks to Penrith, none in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They were pulling them apart everywhere.
Yeah.
And they got too excited. They got too trigger happy. They thought we can do this every time.
No.
And then Penrith were just patient. They were a little bit like, fuck, hang on. This team's come to play. They're getting it to their edges. They're making good meters. And then they were dropping it on the 4th, or they were giving away penalties. Their discipline let them down against that in that Penrith game. That's the one part of their game that I've been very critical of.
Yeah.
Is their giving away penalties late in sets. Yeah, I get you've had the resilience, you've got the toughness. We're going to turn up for each other, but just when you got your foot on the throat, you got to keep your foot on the throat. You can't be turning the ball over cheaply or, giving those shit penalties away. So
you can't be giving away 1%ers against Penrith.
So these next 6 weeks, man, like they've got to still experiment with their attack because they know that the defense is right. The defense is sweet. It's their attack that's going to, like in 2 or 3 weeks, if they keep going the way they're going, they could even start, there could be a conversation around actually winning the competition. Everyone's like, oh, how good are they going? Yeah. They're doing so well. Look up. So in 2 or 3 weeks, they keep winning and winning well. It'd be like, hang on a sec, this team can win the competition.
This team can win the competition.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So they're not far off. They are not far off at all.
Like they're still 20 to 1. They're one team that I genuinely think are actual overs.
I'd have more confidence in the Bulldogs beating Melbourne or Penrith than the Roosters, put it that way.
Wow, you've changed your tune in 3 weeks.
No, I haven't. Well,
you had them as favourites to win the comp a few weeks ago.
They're just not. We'll get into the Roosters later.
So we spoke about this. Let's talk about the Broncos.
Yeah.
Where has it all gone wrong? Like, yes, Adam Reynolds has been out.
Yeah.
And as I think I said last week, that's the steering wheel on the sports car that hasn't been there.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to it. Like, tell us.
I just think they're a team of individuals.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't look like a team.
Yeah.
Like, and I say that respectfully. I'm not saying like it's not like they don't like each other or anything like that. They're all doing their own thing.
Mm.
And I'll give you one example in that game. Payne Haas putting a kick through it for himself. Oh, he thought he was playing under sevens for Logan, right? You know what I mean? I'm just like,
it wasn't the worst, Grubbo.
It wasn't the worst, but I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like an absolute animal, and it was like second tackle or something.
Yeah.
But that's just, and that's not to pick on Payne. I just think that's
frustration.
I think that's the mindset of the whole team at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that I need to do things myself. Yeah. I've got to turn it around myself. It's like they're all doing things individually.
Yeah.
Defensively, I don't find their defensive structure, like when you should recognize pretty early that the Bulldogs were going to shift in transition.
Yeah.
And they did it time after time after time. So you adjust. You pull your defenses, your spacing changes straight away. They just didn't adjust to it.
Does any of that come from Walsh at the back not talking enough?
It's you recognize spacing. Like for me as a four-man, as an edge back rower, I'm looking up. I can see they're creating shape. Hey, boys, I'm going to pull out here.
Yeah.
You push a bit wider. You're looking after your middles, but you know the spacing's off. It's up to me to start creating more space.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just look up all of a sudden and realise there's a fucking 7-man overlap. Like, Where's the 4-man looking? Where's the 3-man? Where's the 2-man? Where's the winger?
There's lack of communication.
Where's the communication there across the line? It doesn't always have to come from Walsh.
Yeah.
So I think the true conversation in all of this is Kevy the right man for the job?
Wow.
I love Kev Walters, well respected.
Yeah.
But hey, the results speak for themselves, you know. Like
if you take out coming second last year where they almost won it, if you put a line through that, it reads horrific.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And when you've got so much talent, and some would argue so much ego in one side, I think you need like a Bellamy or a Bennett or a Des, or a Ricky. They're the kind of characters, the kind of coaches you need to bring these guys into check.
Sticky would know himself with a roster like that.
Oh, well, you imagine he did have a roster. And the last time he had a roster like that, they won it in 02.
Like, in saying
that. They did choke 03 and 04 as well.
Yeah. But, like, he is, like, they're sitting 9th.
Who?
Raiders. Like, with that roster.
I mean, like, but I'm just saying, like, to control.
Yeah.
To control those heads. There's big personalities in that side.
Yeah.
One team, town, you know, like. You need a really strong character as your coach to be able to galvanize and get everyone on the same page, because
they're not singing from the same hymn sheet.
No.
Not with the Payne scrubber.
Big pain.
Love it.
Mate, I would have been stoked if he was coming at me and he put a kick through. I was like, beauty. I have to fucking tackle him.
So good.
So, no, look, that was just an example of where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, second tackle.
Yeah.
Attacking the Dogs line, already behind. Big Pain just has a Logan under 7 moment. I don't know. I'm just going to chip it through here. Oh, there's a shit. It's just rolled straight into young Wilson's hands. So, yeah, that's. I think the real questions around Brisbane is Kevin the man for the job.
Good question. Let's touch on the Chooks quickly, because we're talking about those.
Of course, you want to throw your fucking Chooks in now.
No, we spoke about it. You wanted to talk.
Put them at the bottom of the show when no one's watching.
You wanted to have a little bit of a dig at some of their form around some of the top sides.
Dig?
A question. Well, yeah, dig. Like, and I've got to look. There's agreeance from me a bit as well in the fact of, like, I was at that game. Manly never should have been in that game, and yet 4 minutes ago they're in it up to their eyeballs.
That's individual errors. Cleary throws 2 intercept passes.
Yeah.
I don't know who threw the other one. So that's it's not forgivable. Like, that's 18 points you're throwing away.
Crazy.
And someone like Melbourne and Penrith, the benchmark, don't do that.
No.
They might throw 1, they don't throw 3.
No, definitely not.
I don't know the right vernacular or the right word, but in my vocab to describe what the Roosters are to me, I don't feel like they've got enough steel in their team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not like this rod in their spine. And I give you just the one example again, is that when the front rower goes to dummy half and scores, Manly front rower, barges over, scores from dummy half. That doesn't happen against Penrith.
No.
That doesn't happen against the Dogs. That doesn't happen against Melbourne. That is just that little, that's the area that they're missing. Not that marker D or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's an attitude in their game for a split moment that they don't have that the top teams do.
Yeah,
they're missing some steel, or I don't know what it is.
It's weird. Is it line? Yeah, I don't know.
Because they can put in a really good defensive effort for like another game or for 70 minutes, and then there might be a 10-minute period where you go.
There's just that moment of switching.
There's moments like they're not an 80-minute side.
Yeah, well, that's definitely been shown, especially when they start so strong and then can have moments of switching on.
And I did back them as being my new favourites.
Yeah,
I'm starting to question like they're front runners.
Yeah,
I like it when they're in front. And I think what was the other stat? They've only beaten one team in the 8 in the last
Yeah,
well, 2 teams in the 8 now. If Manly, if you count Manly,
yeah. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, get Joey Manu back this week. It's going to be huge for him.
Man, when you get when Joey comes back in, that's full strength. Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty much other than JWH is still out.
Yeah.
Aside from that, they're essentially full strength this week.
Yeah. So look, like you said, Manly were never in that.
They were never in the game.
Never in that. And then you've got individual errors that led them down. But just tries from dummy half.
That's a concern. I'll tell you, the thing was they were attacking the line and still moving the ball around. So that was like they were trying to put the foot down. But just throwing 3 intercepts in a game is not good.
True. Who was the one that Talau caught from? That was Sam Walker.
That was Walker.
So you got one. So both your halves.
Both the halves. You can't have it.
You can't be doing that. But look.
All right. There's been a lot of talk around, like we're getting towards the back end of the season. We're looking at players going to different clubs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with the first one, Stefano.
Yeah. Look.
He's told the Tigers now he's not going to be there.
Yeah. Yep. Saw all that. Bulldogs and Melbourne are the 2 front runners. I'm hearing pretty good, strong mail that it is the Dogs he's going to go to.
Yeah.
Great signing. Great. I think it'd be great for his development.
Yeah. Under Shoutout.
I tell you on coming up, I heard Willie Mason say a good point last night that he goes to Melbourne because he wants to learn in a good system under Craig Bellamy. Bellamy won't be there for another 5 years.
Yeah, I reckon.
He's only signs year by year.
Yeah, he might sign year by year for the next 10.
But if you mathematically,
you don't think he's going to be there.
Well, you're just going to go, look, Serrato's my age, or a year younger than me. He's 41, 40. And in his second year of coaching a first grade side. So you don't even have to look at what the club's doing and how much they've improved in a 12-month period.
And the culture they're building.
Absolutely. He's going to get the rewards of going to the Dogs.
Yeah.
And then you got that Amone that going to go from Lee. He's at Lee Leopards now. It's another front rower.
Yeah.
So there's 2 there. Who's the other front row? Is there another front row? You obviously got Max King.
Yeah.
Have they signed anyone else?
Not that I can think of.
But there you go. You got 2 big boys come. If let's just say hypothetically he's signed with Canterbury, you got Stefano, Amone from Lee.
And that's big. That's big for the Dogs. So
that's what they needed.
Bodies. That's the one thing they've lacked is those real big bodies. So you're wrapped with the signing if he is to come there?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We've done so good playing with a smaller pack.
Yeah.
But at some point, teams will start adjusting to the way Canterbury are playing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think we've just snuck up on teams now and they're like, whoa, what the fuck's this? They're moving the ball around.
It's hard to repeat it the second year.
Then teams go, all right, they've got these players. We know what that player's going to do. You bring in a Stefano, you go, all right, they can change their attacking style again.
That whole dynamic changes, doesn't it?
Again. So Stefano would be great. Amone would be great. Look, either or, I think he has to get out of the Tigers. And I fully understand that decision for him to leave the Tigers.
Yeah.
He's won 17 games in the last 4 seasons.
It's a crazy stat.
You cannot blame a kid for wanting an opportunity to play for a club that's going to play in semi-finals.
Definitely. That's right? Pushing for a top 4 spot this year.
And that's everyone's been shitting on the Tigers. Like, not shitting on them, but it is what it is. You got to fucking talk about it. They're in a position for a reason, right?
Correct.
And I cannot blame Stefano for making a decision. To knock back money is great as well. Because he'll make that money back in reps.
Yeah.
In Origin, in playing tests for Australia, or if he chooses Samoa or wherever he's from, I'm not sure. He can make that money up. But I would definitely take a pay cut at the front end to get success and win premiership.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Next one. And we spoke about this with the new coach heading of Rolls going to Parramatta, and you said one of the first players you locked down is Blaze Talangi, and he's now come to the club and said, I'm signing elsewhere.
Yeah.
The rumours are that it's going to be Penrith.
Yeah.
And the rumour, as of the last few hours I've heard, is
it's your rumour.
It's not my rumour. It's from a relative. No, I wish. But he's going to be at Penrith, and he could be in the halves next to Cleary.
Yeah. Again, it's a similar situation. Like, he still doesn't own the club anything. Right? He's a 19-year-old kid. Everyone's like, oh, he developed him, blah, blah, blah. You know who he owes right now in his young development of his career is himself and his family. Yeah. His mum and dad, from driving him around since he was 4 years old playing rugby league, taking him to here, taking him there, he don't owe Parra anything.
Yeah.
I think he might be a Parra junior and he might have come through the system, but the system for him has been Matthew Shield, SG Ball Flag. Yeah. He's not even in flag. He's in fucking first grade, right?
Yeah.
So that argument for me out the window. Parra developed him. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
I agree with that.
Right. This kid's a natural talent. He's just come through your system and the club's been too messy for too long. Yeah. And then you get an opportunity to play against the best half in the game who's looking like going to win a fourth comp, and then they don't look like they're ever going to stop winning comps. You got to say that kid, it's a brave decision. You've made not a financial decision, a career building decision for your, you can't knock back a Penrith fucking jersey.
No. Not
being 19 and do your apprenticeship next to the best half in the game who's on an immortal trajectory. So,
or even if he sits in the centres, like it doesn't matter where he sits in that club. You can play any position.
You can play anywhere. I feel sorry for maybe Rolsey. Like, that's not the start you want when you got your best young talent leaving. But Rolsey will just go, all right, move on. Let's move on now. That kid's gone.
You have to, don't you?
You got to move on. We're here to build something else. So, I think it's a great decision for that kid to take a Penrith jersey.
If that's where he's heading.
Well, it has to be only Penrith or the Roosters.
It'd be nice, but yeah,
Roosters have got money.
Well, they've got money. He could fit in the centres. He could fit in the halves.
Well, Joey's going, so they haven't even they've picked no one up in the centres. The other kid who was suspended for 4 weeks.
There's rumours going around they could sign Val Holmes.
Well, Val.
And I think they are looking.
I'd love to see Jenko go around again.
Mate, can I say one thing about Jenko? He looked was unbelievable on the weekend. That was one of his best games. Player,
man. He's been around for so long. Such a gentleman, like a great bloke. I saw him out a couple of weeks ago, and it was just good to say hello. And I played a lot of footy against him, but didn't really have much to do with him. He's a lot younger than me too. But man,
doesn't look it with those greys these days.
Yeah, that's made him look. I'd put a rinse through the hair, and he might get another 2 years if he runs a rinse through it.
Mate, he's unreal. One other talk. There's rumours around that people are starting to squash it. Where
it grew legs. I think I know where that rumour came from, and I'm not going to disclose it on this podcast. There was talk around the camp, obviously.
Yeah.
The hard thing for Brian Tortoy is that he just signed last year, right? Yeah. And we all want more money. We all want more money. His best mates have left now. Jerome, Critter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his Spencer.
Yeah.
Like, that's his little crew. Like, I'm sure the rest of the boys are his crew, but that's his, like, they're his boys.
That was his tight-knit boys.
If it's about money, I would be a little bit upset about it. I'd say, bro, come on, bro. You're better than that. Like, the money will make it.
And he's still young. He's going to make it regardless. You got time.
Well, yeah.
It's not like
just don't go chase the money. If it was about your boys, I'd get that. I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like, I want to play with my best mates all the time.
Yeah.
If I could have stayed with Willie Tonga my whole career, I would have.
Yeah.
That's my boy. So if it's about his boys, then I can understand that. But if it's about money, I'm like, stay at Penrith, right? If it's about stay at Penrith, finish your career there, continue your legacy there, and think about life after footy with Penrith.
Yeah.
There's a career, like a life career at the club for you there, whether it be in the media parts of the club, like
Surely education.
Educational, because he's a character, right?
He's an absolute character.
Yeah, there's like you find out very quickly after rugby league, your fucking pay drop's going to drop a lot.
Yeah,
and you got an opportunity to stay at a club where you're going to have an unbelievable legacy that are going to look after you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
they will look after him the rest of his life.
Definitely,
like they will with Cleary. I mean, that's my
that's where you're going.
Older mindset is that, bro. Stay with that club. If it's about your boys and want a new challenge, it's not about money. I get it. That'd be my drive to go to another club. It's like, no, I want a challenge.
And that's it. Like you said, like being looked after, and you said your pay gap like changes for pretty much everyone but Braith.
Yeah, he's on more money fucking now than when he played.
But that's the thing.
I'm going to go the most overrated journalist. Fucking Braith and Asta.
Oh,
love you, Braith.
But that's the thing. You got to take into account. Yeah, okay, maybe I will go to another club and get paid more now, but I could get paid for the next 20 years at Penrith, and you've got to take that into account.
20, 30. That's the way I see it.
That's a great way to think. All right, well, I think that's enough of talking about last week. Let's rip into the preview.
Let's go.
All right, let's have a look and see if you can keep your stellar tipping record intact.
Mate, I'll tell you something about my tipping. Right, so I've got a tipping comp.
Yes.
With Command 51, and I'm supposed to be an expert. I'm coming 91st out of 92, I think.
Do you know what I'm putting that down to? Consistency. That's something that's positive.
Yeah. So last week I said, so it even tells you shit tipping, like at the end of a round, all right? So I thought, fuck this, I'm not going to tip. I didn't tip last week. I got 4 right because I got all the away teams. So I'm just going to not tip for the rest of the year.
And you're a chance.
I'm a chance. So go against whatever I tip in this team.
Yeah, it could be a very good proven model. All right, I have a feeling you're going to come good end of the year.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to go Tigers.
Wow. At Leichhardt.
I'm going to back these boys at Leichhardt. I've got, Stefano's leaving. He's going to rip and tear. It's like, boys, I've got your back for the rest of the year. I'm going to come out and just steamroll this Cowboys pack. So I'm going to go to the Tigers.
All right. We then go over to Auckland for the Warriors, $1.23 against a very beaten Eels, $4.30.
Yeah. I watched the presser and I looked at 2 really dejected people in the Parramatta press conference, and I just feel like I can feel that sort of pain through the team. They just want the season over.
They're in Bali already, aren't they?
They do. They got 1 foot at Sydney Airport, just like, get me the fuck out of here. So I'm going to go Warriors.
Yeah, sweet. We then go over to Perth for the Dolphins, $3.62 against my Chookies, $1.29. I noticed the Chooks are already there, and I think they're taking this one very serious.
You got to, because, again, Dolphins were good for about 50 minutes last week, 55. They went into halftime up, and then Des, that all-time spray from Des. Dolphins, it feels like their season's starting to fall into place now. They've sat up high, and now they're just sort of fading away.
Starting to fade away.
Respectfully, Roosters over there for sure.
I did. I think when I was still sitting in the top 4, I said Dolphins will miss the 8, and our good friend Bo Champion gave me a lot of stick in a group text. So
the pleasure, champ.
The pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
We've got a Battle of Queensland. We've got the Titans, $2.44, good comeback victory against the Broncos, who absolutely got dismantled by your Dogs.
I tell you, Titans are a team with steel in it. They're a Des team. They're defensively, they're showing more often than not that they'll turn up for each other.
Which is what they weren't a long time ago before he got there. So it's obviously something he's instilled in that
Absolutely, club. And that's why I think Des was going fucking ham at halftime last week. He was going off. These kind of teams, these Des teams, Bulldog teams, Penrith teams, the Melbourne systems, they're almost like a fucking python, like a boa constrictor. Like they wrap their fucking body around you and just start squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. And that's where the Titans are heading. And I feel like Brisbane I see that little white flag coming up a bit more now.
I reckon the Titans, they've obviously been ravished by injury. I've been impressed with them in different stages of the year.
The Titans?
Yeah.
Of course.
Definitely.
And you throw AJ in there as well. Like, he's been out for a lot of this season.
Big time.
But there's a lot of guys. Is it Firma in the back row?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have emerged in that side.
Definitely.
That are their style of players. So there's big things coming for the Titans. Still a couple of years away, but they're turning into a Des side, and I think they'll have too much for Brisbane this week.
Yeah, like that. We've got the Melbourne Storm, $1.10 at home against the Dragons.
Can't beat Storm at home.
Nah, they've turned that whole place into a fortress.
$1.10.
Talking about sprays, I'll tell you what, their performance, how they performed against East 2 weeks ago to then how they played last week was chalk and cheese. And Bellyache was just spitting.
You know why I think he was blowing up? Because I think the last few years, besides, when was the last time they were in the grand final? They beat Penrith in 20, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not 19, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Since then, they've really dropped off the back ends of seasons.
Yeah.
And I think Belly's really identified that as don't fucking start this shit again.
Yeah.
Don't start dropping off in our performances going into the semis, because then we take our form into the semis.
Yeah.
I'm not a footy head, so people might fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure
they have tapered off late.
It's towards the semis and then fell away.
They've been solid throughout the year and then tapered off. Definitely.
Yeah.
They haven't been the Storm. Look, they've still been ultra consistent, but they haven't been the Storm that they were pre-Penrith domination.
Yeah. So to avoid another bellyache fucking spray, I'm sure they'll
fuck me. I reckon they won. I think they won that game by 18 points.
Don't you think Dragons were disappointed they were disappointing last week?
They are. Very.
Like they're just they've done so well, and what Flano's done for the club, and then can really toss some shit up. Like 3 kicks out on the full from your number one half.
Yeah, it's not
Ben Hunt. Like, fuck me.
And they're a team that's like pressing on the 8.
Exactly. But so it's almost like you look at the team that's coming first in Penrith or second, and then you look at the Dragons that are in the 8. Well, they're coming 10th now, but just loitering around the 8, and you go, look at the discrepancy in the fucking levels. Look at the levels in this. You know,
it's huge.
You're nowhere near it. Nowhere near it, and you're potentially going to make the semi-finals.
It's crazy. There's a massive gap from that top 3 to 4 to those bottom ones. We go to Shark Park, $1.28 against, once again, injuries on the Rabbits, $3.70.
This is a hard one to read because you got Kevin Smith back there. Have you got Latrell back?
Give me one sec.
You've got Latrell back too. Murray,
Trell.
Sorry.
No, Cam Murray's back. Trell's not. Trell's still a little bit away.
Yeah.
His brother Shaq is back.
They're too light up. I'm going to go Sharks.
Yeah. I think Atkinson's he plays good footy. I actually don't mind him with Braden Trindle. I think they're going good. Competition favourites Panthers at home, $1.13 against the Knights, who have dropped Hastings, and there's words around there could be Hastings' last ever time in that role for at least for the Knights. There's rumours.
Yeah, I saw that rumour. I don't know anything about it. I'm not close to the Newcastle camp.
Bradman best out as well. So
Penrith all the way.
Yeah.
This is the game of the round, the next one.
Dogs Raiders.
It's such a big game for both of them. Because now Canterbury have got their eyes. I think anything less than top 4 now for them, they'd be all top 6. They'd be somewhat disappointed, right? And this is given
definitely not failure, but it's just like
it's because I think that you can look at them and say, no, we're a top 6 team, definitely a top 6. We've shown enough,
definitely.
So they'll be going for top 4.
Yeah.
But then you're coming up a fucking team like Canberra.
Sticky loves this.
He loves this. Sticky loves this siege mentality, backs against the wall. We're going into fucking Belmore. We're not going to fucking Homebush. We're going into Belmore.
Yeah.
Right? You've got the fucking Viking clap versus the Lebos on the drums, it's a fucking big game. I can't even get tickets. I've been trying, I swear to God. I can't even get tickets. I rang the club. They go, use your Bulldogs pass. I said, you sent me a Bulldogs pass 3 years ago. That's fucking 2024 now. Where's my passes? I could have just thrown them out.
You've been forgotten about.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, how fucking short memories that club, eh? No, I still might go.
Sticky on the bus on the way there. He would just have them pumped.
Oh, he'd have the Terminator on, or he'd have Rocky.
He'd have Rocky
on for sure. He'd be fucking getting this team ready because he's looking at the ladder himself going, fuck, we're sitting ninth. Fucking, we're going into, he loves this.
Loves it.
But this game makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Because Canberra love these kind of games. Bulldogs have shown they like these kind of gritty games as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like Canberra can outmuscle us. They're a big team, strong fucking team. Like, we're just, Belmore to me doesn't feel like it's a wide field. Like, it doesn't feel like if you looked at Belmore, then you looked at Suncorp, you go, look how much big Suncorp is.
There's more space.
There's more space, you know, like on that kind of, that field, enclosed, a suburban ground.
Feels tight.
It's not going to be a fucking shifting game. It's going to be, it's exactly right. It's that phone booth.
Yeah.
We're going to stand in the middle.
And let's have
shut the phone booth door.
Yeah.
And let's go. That's what kind of game it's going to be.
And then you've got.
So I'm going the Dogs.
You're going the Dogs. You got Critter back and you got the Fox back. It's going to be good to see Foxy back.
Fuck. Love the Fox, but fuck, Wilson's unlucky, man.
Yeah. Fuck, he's playing good footy.
He's playing such good footy. I thought Fox might have had to come back through Reggie's, but. And I've got Manly to win the bye.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, that's a wrap. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll fucking hope so, mate, if I get over this influenza A.
All right, beautiful.
They don't want it. Let's go.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.